Hi and welcome. This will be a short tutorial how you can create and export your sample sheet in a fast and easy way without errors. Before you need a sample sheet, you should have prepared your index PCR cautiously. In fact, this Excel file can help you with this as well. I would suggest you check available index primers before starting your index PCR beforehand and then create yourself a pipetting scheme. Let me show you what I mean by that. The status column of the first sheet lets you check and uncheck which primers are available in the freezer at any given time. With this information, you can now go to your DNA plate or DNA pipetting scheme and add primers on the side of the scheme like this for the forward primers and like this for the reverse primers. Let's see if it fills out. Yeah. If you like a simple scheme like this, you could go with something like this, or if you fancy something like this, you could add it here. And what I usually do is I print these out, take them to the lab. I feel this is a good way to minimize pipetting errors in the lab because indexing, for me at least, is one of the most, exciting steps in the wet lab. Anyways, after successfully running and pooling your index PCR, you need to create a sample sheet so that the correct reads and samples can be assigned after Illumina sequencing. For this, we created several interactive sheets, while every sheet has its own sample sheet output. I should say these outputs are fully automated. So if you see here, the first sample is a zebra muscle, and you see here the first sample is a zebra muscle, while I just gave, or in this plate I only have examples, and you see the first sample should be a 1, and for the third plate we have Z1. Just you see this is completely interactive. If I switch this to Z1137, automatically we get the sample name with the index combinations here as well. If you do a nanokit, so approximately 100 samples, you should only need one output sample sheet. You can copy this, give it to your PI, and everybody should be happy as long as you don't double index combinations on one plate, but this is almost impossible. But it gets trickier if you use more plates. And for that, we have this combined output sample where you have each small output sample after another in this direction here. So we have 1, 2, and 3 plates here. Remember, samples with the same primer cannot share index primer combinations. However, samples from different primers can share the same index primer combination. In our lab, we right now have 16, if I remember correctly, 16 forward primers and 75-ish reverse primers, which should give you more than enough possibilities to create unique primer combinations. Anyways, for this case, or for this example, we go with just 2 plates. The first plate is just perfectly filled in already, but the second one I will fill in very quickly. If you do the DNA samples like I showed you before, you just can come over here, press Control C for copy, and then Control V for pasting, this was actually the wrong sheet. I want to have it in this sheet here, which gives you a perfect sample sheet. But right now we want to combine these two here. And since we are just going for 2 sample sheets, we don't need the third one. By deleting all samples here, we create in the combined sample sheet zeros for the sample name. And this is a crucial step for the next steps. So we can filter out the zeros here. No problem with that. And always check if you come up with the right number of samples. So 2 times 96 should equal to 192, and checks out for me, so we didn't make any mistake here. Now what we want to do is we want to ensure that all primer combinations we chose over here are unique. But for demonstration purposes, I created the first column as duplicates. So in total, we should have 8 samples with the same forward and reverse primer combination. To make this step a bit easier, I want you to enable the Developer tab in Excel. And how you do this is you go to Data here, then you go to Options down below, then you go to Menu and you enable the Developer tab or Entwicklungstool and press OK. Since I already had this activated, I don't need to do this. But afterwards, we are able to run this command here, Visual Basic, which gives you a new window where you could write code. And what we want to do now is we want to click on the lower window, which is called Color Company Duplicates Fixed, and we click on it, so it's activated, and then we press the play button. And what this actually does in the background, you couldn't see it, but right now all duplicates in the column K, which is a fixed value, of course, is colored. So right now per plate we should have 8 duplicates, and I just select them quickly, and we have 8. You see it down here in the bottom, 8. So it's not a nice way to have them that far apart. So what we could do is we could order it after the index primer check column, and here we come or get a very nice line up for this. And of course, one could do this by hand right now. So you could type in ZMA1 and then give it another underscore or a double underscore, and then the control A. Because remember, we can't have these primer combination twice in the sheet. We want unique combinations. And when we have 2 samples on for the same combinations, we need to concatenate the names, and later on we can separate them again. But this would be the wrong way to hand it in. We can't demultiplex it this way. We want to have it this way. And what one could do now is, with a simple Excel formula, we could concatenate those. And the formula is actually starting with an equal sign. Then we click on the first cell we want to concatenate. Then we give it this and sign. Then the quotation marks. In the quotation marks, I fill in which signs should concatenate my samples. And I click on the second one. We have these nice color schemes here in Excel. And of course, we have this very nice sample name. But this sample name is influenced by the columns on top, and I want to have a fixed column name, which I could manually edit. So for this, I hit go to the cell, I hit Control C, and then right click on the next cell, and I want to paste just the plain value. And this gives us a new column, which is, in fact, we could write in stuff in here, while we can't do it here. If I write stuff here, I get an error, right? You see this. So this is an important step. And this step, so introducing 2 new lines every time below this, I will do for all duplicates. When I do this with these formulas, one nice thing is that I can copy the formula below the next 2 duplicates, and it automatically will fit in the right combinations here. I could give this 2 underscores here as well, because one sample is from plate 1, one sample is from plate 2, but this is not really important. Oh, and we should put it in here like this, underscore, underscore. And the most important thing is, again, we want the right primer combination for, and we do it the same way. We have R1, F1, and we get the autofill here automatically by the script. And we do it here with the Command C, Command V for the backward primer. So this is the reverse primer is actually this field here, and the reverse is this. No, the forward is this one. And this is the only mistake you can do right now, because everything else is automated. When you are finished, you are able to delete these 3 lines here. Huh. And you still come up with the right sample name and primers. Let me fill this out for the next 2. Of course, we have here B1 and we have here A1. Then we have R1, but not F2. We have F3. Oh, F2, of course, sorry. So be careful how you copy it. Again, just the plain value. You can mark it the way you need it. Like this, maybe. And check again. So these primers should be the same, so is this. These 2 primers should be the same, so is this. If everything is okay, click here on the side, delete the rows, and go for the next one. I quickly do it for all the stuff. I try to make it faster for you in the video if I edit it. I'm back. It took me a while. Here with the colors, you see the concatenated samples. So in this case, I split every sample I concatenated with 2 underscores. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 duplicates in this example here. And remember again, I wrote this backup or checkup function. It's called Anzahl2 in German. And you see we have 8 duplicates, which is the perfect number. We had 192 samples, and we have 2 duplicates, which should be 184. And now we have exactly this number here. So Right now, we could go back into the developer tool and we could run the script again just to make sure we don't have any duplicates here. And it worked perfectly because here you see there's no value. And what happened is, because of course there are several no value cells, uh, they became red. So, and this should be exactly 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is exactly the number we took from the data table, you could say. Now what we can do is we copy everything inside of the lines. We open a new map. We copy the values again, like we did before. You saw the little mistake by myself. Then enter a description name. For this one is tutorial version 1. And save this as, for me, I have a special folder. Apparently I can't find it right away. It's too much data. Sample sheets. And then we could make a new folder. Tutorial. Let's go for tut. It's enough. And one important step is go and save it as CSV. So your PI can open it without a doubt. And you come up with a perfect sample sheet. This is how it should look like. Remember, you have here several steps where we have the security checkups. And yeah, this was the tutorial how you potentially get everything done in under 15 minutes, and it saves you a lot of time.